Hey guys, welcome back to GenXpert I'm Rick Carman. We are in the middle of a push-up challenge. The Patriot Push-Up Challenge is what we're calling it. And we're doing 31 push-ups each day of July. So 31 push-ups, 31 days of July. So if you're new here, if you haven't been on this channel, that's what we're doing. And I'm excited. If you're coming back for more, excited to have you back. It's the 5th day. We had 4th of July yesterday, which was a big milestone, 250th America, and it was pretty exciting. We're all tired. We're all, some of you guys are still at the lake, but you can come and catch up later and do this. So we're going to knock out these 31 push-ups. Hopefully, I can do most of them at one time, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right? Here we go. Follow me. All right. All right. Ready? For America. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest if you need to. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Woo. That was good. If you've been doing this for 5 days with me, hopefully you've gotten stronger. I feel like I've gotten stronger, although I'm still a little tired from working up to it. So just keep after it. So as I take my gloves off, you need a pair of these. I want to talk to you a little bit about well, getting older, obviously. Yesterday we talked about friendship after 50 in the last video. And I thought about this. I thought about seeing old friends on Facebook or at July 4th gatherings yesterday, and you see these guys you went to high school with, and you think, man, he looks old. And then you think, well, do I look old? And so that's what I kind of want to talk about today. Is it wrong or is it vain to want to look younger? I don't know. I guess it depends on your purpose or your reason for wanting to look younger. I never really thought much about it until, a couple years ago. I admit it's normal for most men, to notice they're aging. Like, I don't do mirrors a whole lot because I hate to look at myself. Strange to say, a guy that's doing a YouTube channel that hates to look at himself, so I don't do mirrors. But when I do see a mirror, I'll think, who is that guy? And then, my skin's all wrinkly, my hair's gray. And then you look at photos and you're like, your energy and your photos. Is it vain or wrong to want to look younger? Is it vain or wrong to, want to improve yourself? The feeling, I guess when you think about your identity, being attracted to your spouse or your spouse being attracted to you, being in competition with younger men, social media, stuff like that. Yeah, you kind of want to look younger. I had an issue like 2 or 3 years ago. I wear a lot of older clothes and stuff like this on the farm, and I never really thought about how I looked, or how I presented myself. And I was overweight. I'm not underweight now, but I was overweight then, really bad. So you think about healthy versus unhealthy reasons to wanting to look better. If you're healthy, or if you're eating healthy, or you're being healthy, like exercise and all that stuff, fitness, stuff like that, then you're automatically gonna kind of look better and maybe look younger. So that's one of the reasons. There are practical and non-extreme ways the men can age well, like staying fit, taking care of your skin by, putting on lotion or whatever, good posture, clothing, and, weight management, like I talked about. Weight management is a big deal. Clothing's a big deal. I used to go to town and I would take my kids to school, and I would drop them off at school, or I would go to their student teacher meetings, and I would like meet teachers, and I always think, I would always think like, what do they think about me, or what do they think about my kids? I really didn't really care much about what they think about me, because I'm old and I don't care. And I shouldn't say I'm old. We'll talk about that, but then I started thinking, what do they think about my family? Or my kids ashamed of me because, or the teacher's saying, boy, they're good kids, but man, their dad's kind of overweight and he kind of dresses like a scuzz bag, and, I wonder what their home life must be like, and their home life is great. You can ask them. But I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about maybe I should reevaluate how I'm presenting myself for my family, for my wife, for my kids. Like, my wife works at a clinic off and on, and when I go to the doctor down there, I used to just dress like what I had on around the farm, and I wouldn't shave and all that, and I would think, those people in there work with my wife, and they think, well, look at her husband, man, he's a scuzz, she could have done better, and so I think about that. I want them to say, man, she outkicked her coverage there, like they say. So, accepting this reality, while we're stewarding our body, I thought God might have a few words to say about this. God might have a few verses to say about it. So 2 Corinthians 4:16 was the best one I could find. And it says, therefore, we do not, Therefore, we do not lose heart, though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. I was worried I wasn't going to remember that, but that just means we're getting older, and each day we're being renewed in the spirit inside. We're getting younger inside because we're drawing closer to God. So think about that. And then Proverbs 20:29, the glory of young men is their strength, gray hair, the splendor of the old. So strength, young men, you got strength. You guys are you're gonna have strength until you get into your 40s and 50s, and then your gray hair. Splendor of the old is wisdom. Use your wisdom in that. So use that verse however it can apply to us. I think it applies to us a lot. Proverbs 30, I think 31. Charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And it should say a man who fears the Lord is to be praised, because we should fear the Lord. Not because he's going to strike us down with lightning, but because we fear of losing that relationship with God. We don't want to lose our relationship with the Lord. Okay? So that's one way we can fear the Lord. And, our beauty is fleeting, obviously, and we need to keep up with that. So those are some things that I found in the Bible that might or might not help you. I don't know. I thought they might be relevant. So is it wrong to want to look good and feel confident? No, not necessarily, but don't make an idol of it. Don't chase youth desperately. Focus more on health, strength, and inner character. But still do reasonable things to keep your body in shape, So this week, take one positive step, start workouts, consistent workouts like you're doing here. Improve your sleep habits, dress nicer, and thank God for the body you have, that He gave you, the body that we dwell in. We don't own it, but we've lived in it this far, and just thank God for what you've got, this body, and take care of it. Let's take care of this body and honor God. We were made in His image. Let's just honor Him, and by taking care of what we've got. So, is it vain to want to look younger? I don't know. I'm tanning. I'm, shaving better and all that stuff, getting in shape. And, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it is? I think maybe if you're chasing vanity just for, like if you're getting stuff put in your lips and, you know, you're getting a face job and you're altering your body, you know, with doctors and surgeons, altering the body that God gave you, maybe it is vain. Maybe it is a sin. But if you just want to stay healthy and look good for your spouse, look good for your kids and represent your family well, your family name well, I think that's perfectly fine. And yeah, we look at our friends and say, man, they're getting old. Well, they may look at you and say, man, you're getting old. I don't know. It's all perception. So I don't know the truth behind that. I just know some people I see and I say, wow, I hope I don't look that old. And some people I see and I say, wow, I hope I look that young, you know? And so that's just what I want to talk about today is it wrong to want to look younger? Because I'm tanning and I'm getting in shape and I'm trying different things to look younger. I'm going to town, dressing up nicer, wearing younger clothes. I'm not wearing clothes that, you know, teenagers wear. That's another thing people look goofy doing. But I'm not wearing sweats to Walmart. I'm not wearing, you know, sweats. When I get home, I don't wear sweats. I don't take off. I used to get home, put on my sleep pants or whatever and walk around the house for 4 hours till bedtime. I don't do that anymore. Because I feel like, especially in your 50s, in your relationship with your wife or your spouse, you want to still look good for them. You want to still present for them. You don't want to just present for people outside of your home. You want to present for your spouse. You want to look good for them. You don't want to always just be, I don't want my wife to always be wearing sweats till bedtime, you know. I'd like her to honor me enough to look good for me, and I want to do the same for her. So think about that. A lot of you guys in the city are saying, well, this don't apply to me. I don't work on a farm. I dress up and go to work every day. I wear a suit. I look good. I look sharp. And you do because you have to. But when you get home, what do you do when you get home? Do you peel off that suit and put on, you know, boxers? Or what do you do to look good for your spouse? So think about that. I think about those kinds of things all the time, but I'm retired. I live out in the country. So it's different for me because when I go to town, I make sure I dress up now. I want to present well when I go to town, and I represent my wife, my kids, and my family. And so in retrospect, I want to look younger. I want to stay in shape. I want to live longer. So that's the lesson for today. Thank you for showing up with the Patriot Push-Up Challenge. 31 days. We've got 5 down. So thank you for showing up and doing this today. We're gonna get through this every day. I'm Rick Carman. This is GenXpert. And until next time, get up, get out, and get better.